Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for it, so make sure you stick around for this video. Make sure you like the video. Anyway, let me get into this topic right here. Y'all know LeBron James recently became the first NBA player to become a billionaire while active. First of all, let me say this, since we didn't touch on that, we didn't produce a video about that. Congratulations to LeBron James on that. I think it takes a lot of concentration, self-confidence, and persistence to reach that type of goal. There've been a lot of NBA players, right? A lot of NBA, and then obviously we understand that there's more money in the sport as time goes on, but nevertheless, he did it. He pulled it off, and you got to say kudos to him. And I'm sure he is the first of many that are going to come. I think they're going to be guys in the future that are going to be, you know, future NBA billionaires while they're still playing. Maybe Ja Morant has an opportunity to do that, but you got to give him credit because he was the first to do it. So, you know, congrats to LeBron. But anyway, back to the video here. He's a trailblazer, but we got to get back to the NBA. Now, as y'all know, LeBron has played with 3 NBA teams over the course of his NBA career. He started his career with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then ultimately he went to go join the Miami Heat. Y'all remember that. And then he went back to Cleveland, and then he joined the Los Angeles Lakers, which makes it 3 teams. And every single team that he's played with has won an NBA championship. Now, whether or not you agree with them in the manner in which he did it, or if you think some of them are legitimate or whatever, the bubble, whatever, he still won 3 championships with 3 different organizations. So he has that reputation as the only guy that has won 3 championships with 3 separate teams. But on the other hand, he also has a reputation of leaving teams high and dry and moving on to the next big thing, right? That's also part of LeBron's legacy, so to speak. And Colin Cowherd seems to believe that LeBron may do that very same thing to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, for those of you who missed what Colin Cowherd had to say about that, you know, about LeBron, the possibility of LeBron James leaving the Lakers, take a listen to what he had to say here. We're going to come back and react to it. Take a listen to that.
Speaking something into existence. LeBron James, I believe, has been doing that twice, talking about playing with the Warriors and Steph Curry. I think he's speaking it into existence. Everybody's rolling their eyes at me, but LeBron's a smart guy. He's $1 billion net worth as a current active NBA player. He's good with business. He bailed on his hometown twice. He bailed on Pat Riley and his best friend, Dwayne Wade. You don't think he'd bail on the Lakers? His contract's up in a year. You really don't think he'd bail? Golden State looked like they could use a little rest for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Boy, they could use a dynamic athlete. LeBron did lead the NBA in field goal percentage on 2s taken this year. I swear I read that. LeBron's also speaking this into existence. He talked about where he's going in terms of ownership in the NBA someday.
So you heard it for yourselves, right? You heard what he said. Now, the question becomes, why is he even talking about this in the first place? Why bring this up? Was you just sitting there? Was you just bored and decide, hey, let's bring up a topic about LeBron possibly, you know, speaking things into existence and no, he didn't bring it up for no reason. He didn't pull it out of the air. It came from some recent comments that LeBron made about his willingness to play with Draymond Green. Obviously, he did it in a joking kind of manner. He said, I would love to get in a pissing contest with Draymond Green. Why? Because y'all know Draymond Green is a very demonstrative type of guy. He's a very in-your-face type of guy. And obviously, I think him and LeBron James are friends off the basketball court. So I think he said he would just probably enjoy being in the same work environment with Draymond Green as they go back and forth with each other. So LeBron came out there and said that. And a few weeks ago, I think when asked about it, who he would really like to play with, I think he mentioned Stephen Curry, that he would really like to play with Stephen Curry because of the way he plays and his style of play. He thinks that would be the guy that he would really enjoy playing basketball with. And then we all know Stephen Curry caught a whiff of those comments. And, you know, Stephen Curry was like, you know, that would be great. Maybe in a fantasy league. He's like, yeah, we already played together. We did that during an all-star game, right? We did that already. So maybe in a fantasy league or whatever, that he's like, but I'm pretty good right here. And people are like, whoa, did Stephen Curry diss LeBron? Did he say he doesn't want any of that, right? We all remember those comments, right? So LeBron has said these 2 things. He had the Draymond Green comments and he had the Stephen Curry comments. And recently, I saw a segment on Undisputed And they were like, Skip Bayless brought up, is this disrespectful to Laker fans? How is Jeannie Buss and the Laker brass supposed to feel about LeBron making these comments given the type of season that they just had last year? Why would he come out there? This is insensitive. This is tone deaf. Why would you come out? So people have kind of discussed this, right? So Colin Cowherd is not just making this up. He's not just, pulling things, out of the sky. I think he came to that conclusion, Colin. I think he came to that conclusion based on LeBron's past actions and past comments. We know LeBron left the Cleveland Cavaliers. We know he went to Miami and he left Miami, and there were some sour grapes, both in Cleveland and in Miami. We know he went back to Cleveland, and now we know he's in LA, right? So LeBron has a history of doing this. Not like as if we're just kind of like, oh, could he? There's he's done it before. So here are my thoughts on this. As it pertains to the Los Angeles Lakers, if you ask me, do I see LeBron James finishing his NBA career with the Los Angeles Lakers? I think the answer is no. I don't see LeBron finishing his career with the Lakers. Now, we've heard reports of them saying that LeBron loves it in LA and it's a beautiful place and blah, 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 right? So he loves playing in LA. But I don't see why that would stop. He loves living in LA, but I don't see why that would stop him. Number one, LeBron probably is going to play for another 2 or 3 years maximum, right? So if he were to leave LA to go play with another team, I don't see how that affects him from living in LA during the off season. Number one, he's not going to sell his house, especially if he's going to retire from basketball 2 or 3 years from now. So he still have his house. It's like you have a house in, let's say, Italy or Spain, right? But you work in the United States, but you're about to retire in like 3 years. If you take a job in Chicago, although you were living in, you're gonna sell that house when you're about to retire in a house that you already bought? No. So I think LeBron, I think LeBron can go right back to LA, and I think it's no big deal. Number one. Number two, I don't think it's going to affect any of his business because he has a great team around him, and these guys are going to run his businesses for him. So I don't think LeBron is one of these guys that is tied down to a particular location because he has to be there to run the day-to-day, and I can't leave here because if I go, so how was he doing it when he was in Cleveland? So I don't think that's going to be an issue, right? I don't see him like he would never leave because he loved. No, I think he could leave and then come back to live life there. So that's the first thing. I think a lot of his decision is going to be based on what he said about his son. As y'all know, LeBron said he would like to play his final year of, basketball with his son, Bronny, right? So we have to take that into consideration. Whether the Lakers don't draft him, what if he ends up going to another team? I think LeBron would leave and go to whatever team his son is on to go play with his son. Period. End of story. He can go play in Charlotte. He can go play in wherever, right? He can go play with the Portland Trailblazers. He can go play with the Pelicans. Wherever he's going to go, he's going to follow his son, right? And he's already kind of been setting the stage for that. You can see, like, my son, I know I will play, right? Which kind of somebody better pick up my, and I totally understand that, right? He's doing what any dad would do for their kids. He wants to put his son in the right position to succeed in life. Who wouldn't want to do that? And he's in a position to do so, right? A lot of people have jobs today. People get jobs every single day based on who they know, right? What contacts they have, whether it be their dad, their mom, their friend, their brother, their sister, happens all the time. So I'm not going to act like as if it's something new, right? It's not nepotism. You're just doing what people do every single day. So I'm not going to fault him for that. But I don't see him finishing his career with the Lakers. And I think a lot of that is contingent upon what happens with his son. And I don't think LeBron's legacy is that of a Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant. LeBron's legacy is not tied to one team, like Kobe with the Lakers or Duncan with the Spurs. In the case of LeBron, he's been on with 3 teams. So if he joins a 4th team, I don't see how that matters. Now, is he going to? I think where he'll probably get his jersey retired will probably be in Miami, and probably will be in Cleveland. I don't see him getting his jersey. Well, he could probably get his jersey retired in LA, but to me anyway. The question to you then becomes, what do you think LeBron does? Do you think he retires in LA or do you think he moves? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.